Hello, and thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Jamie. Today I want to talk about something that could be seen as controversial, but it's been a topic that keeps coming to my mind to make a video about for years now. And I'm finally going to make it happen, and that is the reason why I don't care for 12-step programs like AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, Addiction Anonymous, like all those kinds of programs. And there's several reasons why. I haven't written them down, so just bear with me. But first reason is it really is putting people living in the past. I went to Al Anon for a time, and it helped me connect a lot of dots with my family upbringing and kind of why I am the way I am, or like why I would think certain things are sort of normal that are actually dysfunctional traits within a family unit. And in that way it helped. But what I witnessed is that it's starting to rain. What I witnessed is that, every week people are going to these meetings and they're basically drumming up the same family history, the same patterns. Like they're just talking about past over and over and over again. And in that, you know, I heard a lot of blame. I heard a lot of victimhood mentality, which, look, no judgment, right? Like there is something to acknowledging things that have happened within our lives, right? And getting clear about what was going on, how it shaped us as a person, and how we can best move beyond it and live differently and choose differently, right? But I think, people don't even realize that going and just talking about your past over and over and over, week after week, meeting after meeting, is really keeping you stuck in the past. It's not really helping you move forward. Plus, if there's the component of blaming parents or some family member or spouse for their alcoholism, and you're not actually turning the mirror back to yourself and looking at why you attracted those things and really doing the inner work to shift, then chances are you're going to keep attracting the same things. Number two, I don't agree with like the notion that alcoholism or addiction is a disease or is some lifelong condition, because it's not. It's not. And when you think that it is, it keeps you stuck, because you can blame some disease or look at it as like, oh, this is just the way things are. This is just the way that I am. This is just a thing that I have and I can't help it. And yeah, I can go to meetings and I can, not drink, but overall, I'm helpless in this. It's a disease. It's incurable. I'm always going to have this affliction. Very disempowering way to look at anything in life, let alone addiction and alcoholism. And it's keeping a lot of people stuck, because when you view anything like that and you believe that something is incurable or is a lifelong affliction that you're going to have to deal with, then guess what? Like I've said in my other videos, you get your beliefs. Your reality is shaped around what you believe, in part, like partially. That's what it's shaped around. If you believe something to be true, then it's true. So, really consider changing that way of looking at things. If you yourself have been struggling with addiction or alcoholism, change your way of thinking. It's not a disease. It's not a lifelong affliction. You can change it, and I've seen people do it, clearing the reason why you're using drugs or alcohol with holographic kinetics. So, but awareness is key, and wanting to make change is key. And I talked with a friend recently who got himself out of addiction and alcoholism and all these things with willpower. So I meet people all the time who have done it, and you can too. Number three, the thing that I don't like about 12 steps is the whole notion of putting your, faith all in God. I think that is one aspect of Al-Anon and AA that I really didn't like. The whole talking about God as like being some savior who is going to give us strength to get through something. Look, we have a spirit that animates this physical body. It is eternal and it has moved with us through all lifetimes that we've lived. It moves with us through all of this lifetime. When our spirit leaves this body, we're considered dead. And the more that we give our power away to things outside of ourselves, the more disempowered our spirit becomes. I really highly recommend you just acknowledge your own spirit and start telling it what you want, and start setting intentions with your own spirit as to the kinds of experiences you want to have in your reality or the things that you want to change. You know, if you have an actual intention and you're serious about it of changing alcoholism or addiction, I 100% believe that you can move past those things. And, you know, one starting point would be telling your spirit what you want. Like, I see how this is affecting my life negatively. It's affecting me in XYZ. I want to change it. And maybe writing those reasons down, because honestly, I think people lose sight of how these substances are affecting their lives negatively, and that's part of why you stay on the same hamster wheel, because you're losing sight of that every time you go, and then maybe you feel better when you're inebriated, but after that, there's a come down point where you have to realize, like, things that maybe you did while you were drunk or high that you now have to deal with. And yeah, so really setting the intention, really being serious about it, and then taking action towards that. It's huge in changing your reality, whether, you know, you're addicted to drugs or you're just constantly consuming alcohol to avoid life, to avoid your own inner world, to avoid your own thoughts, to help you sleep, to help you be around people, whatever it is. All of the reasons that you're consuming these things can be changed, and it's really up to you as to what you change. It's not up to God, it's not up to someone else outside of you, it's not up to your friend circle to change. It might be for you to change your friend circle, and it's for you to change your actions, for you to find better ways to cope with life, or to find other methods of dealing with those things that you know you're using drugs and alcohol to deal with. All of those things can help you escape that hamster wheel of alcoholism and addiction. But I think sitting around talking constantly about your problems in a victimhood mentality type way, blaming circumstances, blaming family, blaming spouses, all of that, without taking full responsibility for your experience and what's showing up. Meaning, you know, there are some things that we're carrying through time from our past lives, and if we're not willing to even believe that past lives exist, or we're not willing to even take into consideration that there have been things that have happened in the past that are affecting us now, then we easily can end up staying in a loop. You know, if we think that this life is all there is, it's a lot easier to start blaming everybody and everything around you. But in my experience, I've had to shift out of that victimhood mentality, and I've done that with holographic kinetics, but I've also had to recognize when I was doing it and shift what I was saying, what I was thinking about various situations, and to not just get so caught up in that I take the focus away from what I do have control of, which is my own, thoughts, words, actions, and deeds. So we're only responsible for ourselves, which is a really beautiful thing because it takes a lot of pressure off. And when we let go of, you know, the past, we can move forward into a new future. But you have to let go of thinking that there are things that are unchangeable, incurable, because when you think that they are, then they will be. And if you know that anything can change and all possibilities exist and all potentials exist, you live in a much more empowered state, and it opens up the entire universe to you in creating the life that you want, of being the kind of person that you want, of creating the life situation that you want. And it really starts, I think, with taking our power back, realizing that we are a powerful spirit having this human experience, and that we can change and shift anything we want. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thanks so much for tuning in. If this resonates, please leave a comment below. I would really love to hear from you.